today you are the chief of training at the Newton County Fire Service and Rescue in Covington, Georgia. You're blazing a trail, man. I was super stoked when I was when I was trying to figure out what happened to Kregg Lumpkin because I grew up watching you and I found out that you were a firefighter. That just blew my mind, man. How did that all come to be? So the NFL ends. You're trying to figure out what you want to do. Did you always want to be a firefighter? Did someone inspire you to do that? Like, how did this all come to fruition here?
Once I left the league, 2013, again, like I said, I used my 2 degrees to go into real estate. I did real estate with my cousin for a couple of months, and then I went to a leasing consultant for an apartment complex for a couple of years. Um, I even tried to go into the school system and be a parapro and assist the teachers. Um, but then 2016 is when Michael Cooper, who works for Clayton County Emergency Services. I reached out to him, and he just told me about how he loved it and liked it and enjoyed it. So I went and applied for Clayton County, and to me, it's so much similar to playing sports or football. You practice, you train, you play, and then you, you when you get that call in the fire service, that is your game. Just in the fire service, it's a real life situation to where somebody is depending on your skills and your knowledge to assist them and save them. In the NFL, you're protecting your life from any risk or hazards, um, but it's more of an entertainment than a real life scenario to where somebody's life is in your hands, literally.
And we're talking Michael Cooper, your former teammate at University of Georgia.
That is correct.
Wow. Oh man, the running back room at Georgia runs deep, man. I love that. So he's the one that connected you. And did he talk about the synchronicities between the two, or did you figure that out once you started getting into the training?
I figured that out in my training. Just you have a helmet, or you have a fire helmet, football helmet, a fire helmet. You wear fire gear, and you have shoulder pads, thigh pads, knee pads for protection. Um, Again, to me, it's similar. You train, you practice, you play, and then when the lights come on or when that call hits, it's your time to perform.
What does it mean to you, Craig, today to be able to help people and to be a public servant and to save people from dangerous situations?
It means a lot. You just think about how many times your family has been in a situation to where you wanted to know that information of how could I help, how could I assist, how can I get this person um, to the correct medical attention that they're needing at that time. And once you get into it and just learn the ins and outs of being an EMT, an AMT, advanced EMT, starting IVs, working on the fire trucks, and knowing how to read smoke, read the building, uh, just just all the intricates, being fire and EMS emergency technician, um, helping somebody understand uh, what to do in a certain situation is again undescribable because that your knowledge, your information could help that person. Um, it could help save their life pretty much.
How long does it take to build up that confidence, in that type of an arena?
Just like anything you do in life, practice, training. There's no amount of hours that you can I would say practice or train on any situation because every situation is different. You can go to the training facility and run in and out of that burn building, but going to an actual live fire is completely different because there's a different layout, a different setup of somebody's home. Running an EMS call is completely different because they might present different signs and symptoms. So you just gotta continue to practice, train, and learn from every opportunity.
How do you calm down those nerves in that situation? Going from, again, you're going from practice, but like you just said, then you get into a real situation. It's completely different. How do you calm those nerves down in those types of situations?
Just being confident in your skills, um, just being confident in your crew members that you work with, and you know that um, if you got their back, they have your back, and if you need some assistance, just ask. It's never uh, too prideful to ask for assistance or help.
I read something online, and this was in an article, and you said I had people ask me why was I there in the first place instead of trying to play football. And when they said why I was there in the first place, you being a firefighter, how thinking about that now, like what comes up and how do you respond to that?
Just having the servant mentality, servant ability to give back. Again, I can take all my accolades from high school to college to the NFL. But if I'm not giving back, then I'm being selfish. It's not. It's only been internal rather than like with my boys. I can give them all the knowledge and understanding of the game as they play football. Um, to help them out and of course they're not going to go through the same experience that I did, but they could. And then in those experiences, then they can fall back on that basic foundation of, well, my dad told me this, or if I'm giving a class or information, this is the basic foundation of what you can fall back on, and you always fall back on the basics.
When you were a little kid, Craig, what did you want to be when you grew up?
One, an NFL player, and then um, I wanted to be a doctor, a firefighter, a cowboy. There's so many things that I wanted to be, but just uh, once you start growing up and you start getting into um, just finding out who you are, who you want to be, you're starting to fit find that mold that you want to get into.
How cool is that, man, that you were able to accomplish? Again, I know as a kid, there's always a myriad of things we want to be, but how awesome is that that you were able to accomplish two? One of which very few people do, which is play in the NFL, and then secondary to that, public service, man, public servant as a firefighter. That is freaking awesome.
It is, and I'm excited to still be in it and enjoying what I do. I'm just trying to make sure that everybody gets the training that they need from the training division, understanding that everything is not going to be the same. Things change on a daily basis, and the one thing in the fire service that firefighters don't like is change, and it's always going to change every year. Like with COVID, how the houses are built now from back then. Uh, things are going up a lot quicker and a lot hotter. So
You mentioned change earlier in the conversation, and then you said your motto at Georgia, and you could tell me if I have this correct: big team, little me, right?
yes, sir.
Do you use that big team, little me strategy now as chief of training?
I try to do that more of with my division. Try to make sure that they have everything they need to make them successful in instructing our recruits as well as our online personnel. Making sure that every year that our online personnel have um, all the hours that they need to recertify for their state EMS licenses as well as their state fire certification. So um, I put the team first before me.
If you could go back in time to a younger version of yourself with all the knowledge that you've gathered over the years, what would you tell them?
Save your money, um, stay humble, and continue to work hard at everything you do.